All right, here we go. All right, so here we are. It's the 81st uh, IWAR Gold Strategy Workshop, the Randy Moss edition. So going way back for that one. 81st, yeah. So holy crap, we do a lot of these. Uh, Last night we had technical difficulties, also known as weariness.
Yep.
Yeah. Uh, so
Yeah, Wednesday I got home close to 2 a.m.
from what? What
and
were you
so
doing?
AEW.
There you go.
And yeah, so 2 to 6 was two's when I got home. I didn't quite get to sleep at 2, so
Yeah, I'll be
yeah.
at AEW Collision, not this Saturday, the Saturday after.
Nice.
In Springfield, Mass. It's part of my like mini vacay. We're going to that first. Then on Sunday we're driving down to DC, seeing a friend there. Then like spending the day in DC for a couple days, like going to a Pete Yorn concert, going to a Nationals baseball game, getting a tour of the Capitol. You know, some other stuff too. We're hammering it all out, but it's one of those vacations I'm gonna be exhausted afterwards. Like, oh great, no vacation at all, pretty much.
Yeah.
But I've never been. Well, I just I've never been to DC. I've been to DC when I was little, so it doesn't count because you
Yeah.
really don't remember any of
My
this stuff.
my work, their headquarters is in Reston, Virginia.
Oh,
So I've been there probably like 20 times.
oh, all right.
Yeah, it's a pretty standard trip. It was for a while. I
Yeah, let
used
me
to go up there like monthly.
kill one of my fans. It's not quite Indian summer here, but it's damn close in Boston or north of Boston, I'd say. So nice weather. Well, what's not nice is all that hard work I put into winning a specialty championship.
Mhm.
Big old zero. You took third, so there you go.
In one, yes.
With your well-crafted single strategy.
one out of uh, one out of like 70 entries. So
Hey, you know what? IWA can run these kind of things every so often and just be like,
yeah,
Christmas is coming. Let's run
it's.
a contest. I
Like
have
I
a
said,
contest.
I was surprised by how low that number was, though.
Ah,
Like that's a really good incentive. I think everybody's going to regret that.
40,
Let me
yeah,
see
40 extra wins.
all
I'll
the
take those
wins I
ranking
got.
spots.
It's more than they got in the UWL.
Right. Yeah. Some of us don't last very long in UWL.
Yep.
Two cycles. If I get eliminated again, I'll be like, there's a conspiracy. That's it. All right. So this is going to be for the September cycle.
Hmm.
And so what are we looking at here? How bad is it, Doctor?
Isn't bad at all this time.
Nice.
So
I think I told you I did the first time all year. I've been up and down. I've been like spiking and dipping
mhm.
and down like every cycle. Like for as far as my singles wrestlers go, my average single strategy was either high or low. And this was two cycles back to back where it was really high. So I was like, yes. So
Yeah,
come on, Johnny B. Christmas is coming.
I'm due to have a bad cycle soon. It'll probably be this one since there's BWL pay-per-view results.
That's
That's
just
typically
oh
what it lines
boy.
up. Yeah, so I'm really trying not to mess that up. But see,
Well,
my last, what was it? It was a 500, 499, 499, 496, 498.
yeah.
That was my last five in that league.
It's tough. There's a reason it's
So,
ranked so high.
yeah, I'm going to get one wrong eventually.
I've been in the gutter. I've been so terrible with Gina. So it's all right. But I also want to mention I sent out the trophies today for the or not today, this week for the Johnny B Cup and the All Rookie Cup. So those went out. So those guys got those. So hope you enjoy those. Remember, take those everywhere you go. They work really well with the ladies. Just like, what do you think? Um, yeah.
You just
So
drink out of it too.
yeah. Yeah.
This,
It's like Stanley Cup. I once thought about doing a gigantic like trophy, like a Stanley Cup for the like
yeah,
Johnny B Cup and just adding a thing to it every time. But I'm like, that would be a pain in the ass. And I'm not rich. So sorry, folks. So what are we looking at here? How bad is it? I'm looking at this. I see
okay.
all this red.
Yeah, red's good for this reason. Okay, so we're gonna get rid of the 26s. The art of crazy, they happened twice, but they had happened 2 cycles ago, so that's
Okay.
gone. Last cycle's gold was 28.26. Still was 29.26.
Yes.
And we started off this cycle with a doubles and 27s, so that's gone. So really, you have this left. I wouldn't recommend taking the 28s. Yes, it's an option, but we know that we're already, at the high point of doubles, and we know 28s do not like to go very often. So don't do that. You can
Cardboard.
eliminate this one right here, this
Sure.
first 28-27, because that's the 2 cycles ago, and we know that that's pretty rare too. And then we get to do these 4 up here because it has the old 25 in it,
Here you go.
and that will not drop. So leaves us with 4 27-26s, 3 28-27s, 2 29-27s, and 2 29-28s.
Right.
What is that? 8, 11? Yeah, 11 fronts. And then on the back, we know that 90 was a 44, so you eliminate hold 62, you put 90 at hold 11,
Easy.
and that takes us down to 8 backs. So
Ooh.
88 options as a starting point.
Ah,
Pretty good.
so if you have 87 wrestlers, you're out of luck. There you
Yeah.
go. Is there still a cap of wrestlers in each fed?
50.
Is
Yep.
50 still
50 in the
50?
bed. Yeah. You can have 200 overall, but you can go up to 50 in one.
Oh,
So
so
if
I
you,
didn't realize
yeah,
that. So you can have
yeah,
be in every fed, but if you had 50 in each fed, you'd only be able to do 4 feds.
yep.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right, that makes sense. Uh-oh, I got a
Yeah,
question from Larry
oh,
here, so we'll add that to the mix.
all right.
So we'll do the questions at the end.
Okay.
And
So
yeah,
let's
it
look.
gets confusing. So, all right, so what's next?
All right. We'll look at the backs. Um,
Oh,
so for the third straight time, and it's kind of our new trend that helps if you're in still, because just go the opposite of what Iron had, and you get it right every time. Which means in still, we only had 4 backs the other day, and
mm-hmm.
that helped. That helped a lot. But the issue is that there's still not a whole lot of logic on
Right.
where gold goes after those two. You'll look, we do have a pretty good mix here where it's flipped, this section right here. And when it's a 41, it's a 41, then it's not, then the 2 is a 2, then it's not, then it's not. So it can be pretty much anything. Um, the main thing we do know, though, if we look at just gold,
Mm-hmm.
we still have had a pretty heavy mix of 42s recently.
Yes.
And when you look back, you see typically when that happens, you will start to get a few more 41s.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't say it with a lot of confidence, but I think it is safe to go with the 41 versus the 42.
Yeah,
I think there's a little better chance of getting that. But unfortunately, both of those are still an option. So really, all 8 of the backs are in play.
oh boy. Well, and again, like we would say that, like a little tip here would be not to play the exact same combo. So 44-1, 43-1, 41
Mhm.
2, 45-1, 45-2. And for those of you who are newer, the ones and twos suggest which hold had a higher value the cycle
So
previous
here,
to this one. So,
yeah, so if you look at this 44, and then here's the other one. So you see, Naji was clearly the stronger hold. It had a 45 before it. This one's coming off a 41. And as you look through, you just tend to see that, certain holds do act stronger, and certain combinations, like you were saying, are a little more common.
Right.
But it's about it on the back. So
So
I prefer the 41s. The 44 1, 43 ones happened 2 times in a row.
yeah.
I would say that's pretty uncommon, but that was true in Still, and you see that it actually just went there again.
Right.
But it doesn't happen often outside of that one weird stretch a couple years ago. Um, that's really it. So if you wanted to probably gamble against one of the 4 combinations here,
Mm-hmm.
it'd be the 1 and the 1. And since we know Nadi's here, that would mean the 266. So
Right.
maybe able to do something like that as an elimination with some risk, but it's got some reasoning too.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the back. Think you can cut that down. I would recommend either go 42s or 41s, or cut that 63 and use 66, and then you can use more of these options.
Mm-hmm.
So however you want to do that. Um, as far as hold placement on 14 and 15, we have
It's been 45-1 for a while now.
for 3 in a row. You see, we got a 5 there, but we got a stretch there.
I always feel like too, like when you get too comfortable, that's when everything changes.
Yeah.
Dun dun
Like,
dun.
like these 2 right here, and Still, where I got them both wrong after they had this stretch.
Right.
So
Yeah.
little risky. I tend to always lean towards putting the 1-2, but yeah, it could be 2-1 this cycle. So that's gonna probably be a little tougher. That 67, 73, probably the safer, like I said, but I wouldn't fault anybody for flipping those. But that seems to be kind of my struggle too. I have a lot of trouble figuring out the cycles where it'll be the 2-1.
The
So
damn
whatever I
DDT.
pick will be wrong there. So
Yeah. It's all right. So the back end is going to be kind of a little circus, but that's okay.
Mhm.
That's why we play the game.
So let's assume you make one of those options where you only have 4 backs. Then we have 44 fronts.
Yeah.
Realistically, you'll have to cut something else. They're all in the reasonable range.
Right.
4 cycles ago, 5, 6, and 7. So nothing's been too long. Everything's been about right. 29, 28 didn't happen 2 cycles ago. This last time, and same thing on 27, 26. So there's a chance on both.
My cat is thrilled.
Yeah. Is he able to point at anything?
She was like, take the 43B. No. I think it's a thing where, you look at, time wise, what is most likely to go? So 7 cycles, 27, 26 is kind of sitting there laughing at us.
Mhm.
But 29, 28, you get right there. But 28, 27, you can kind of, I think one of the things about the game is that you kind of like, you make your best assumptions and that's your gut. You're like, okay, well, what do I think is going to happen with this? Or what's going to go there, So there's all the ones.
Yeah, these are the from 2 cycles
Oh,
ago.
right. 2 cycles ago. Yeah. So, that brings a good question. So one of the questions was it was actually a comments question in one of the previous shows.
Mhm.
And someone said, what does a yes and no mean? So I'll just give a quick review of that.
Oh, yeah, that's so those holds from 2 cycles ago that hit the 25s. Um, it's if one of those 2 cycles later went again. And again, that was much more common as you go back 1 to 2 years. You see
Mm-hmm.
that, yeah, much larger stretches. So when we knew that they hit a yes, we knew it was likely that 4 or 5 cycles at least, we were able to locate out of the 11 or so options which half or third would actually hit.
Right.
The thing is, though, you look more so over the last year or two, we didn't get those streaks nearly as much. There's a 3, a 4, and then nothing. So that was actually one of the rougher parts because I would try to lean into every yes and then just kept getting a wrong
Every other
answer.
cycle, yeah.
Yeah.
Um, so one of the questions this month, or this
Mhm.
episode, from Dan Heyman, friend of the show, uh, asked, "What do they use for tiebreakers in battle royals?"
And I don't know that answer past 1 and 2. So the first one is their random, what, 5 holds, is it?
I think so. 3 and 2, right?
I think so. Yeah, that sounds right. Then it's just total points. And I have no idea what it is after that. So that might be a good question to get clarification on.
There you go. So Johnny B, if you're watching, next IWA trivia, there it is.
Yeah.
Then this question comes from Larry, and he just sent it to me.
Mhm.
So the question is, I have one. So in ruling out potential drops, can you confidently rule out whatever combo dropped the same number of the same number of cycles ago as the last drop? For example, 2926, which Steel ruled out because what hit, dropped exactly
Mhm.
the same number of cycles ago as Gold's last drop. I track how long ago it's been since a combo dropped, and I can't recall seeing these numbers being the same back to back. This might be extremely confusing. I don't have charts in front of me. If 2720,
More, yeah, I think it's more coincidental, but I get
yeah,
exactly what he's saying.
okay.
Um, yeah, so I know somebody that actually tried to track that, and like they would always pick off of what the previous one did until that cycle missed. And there was only one time it went all the way through Diamond, but it's more random than anything. So I don't think you can say it could happen or that it's likely not to happen. There's not enough instances to really know for sure.
Okay.
But yeah, that's something I know a few people have looked at, and there's nothing really definitive saying take it or don't.
Right. Okay. Well, I always say again, it comes down to your best guess or analyze the
Mhm.
numbers. And like I said before, like what I do is I often look at what a hold was, where like the previous cycle, what it is now, and I know, okay, it's not going to be 25 again, or let's say like 27.
Mhm.
And then I go, what has 27 been doing? Where has it been going? And I actually track where the holds go value wise. And kind of play those odds. And that's the thing I do. And like Darren was sharing charts with us earlier about the tag team combos and stuff like that. And that's like, in the one hand, I don't know who, I think it was, I know I stole it for the IWAR meme thing. I think it was Tom or it was Dan. Maybe it was Adam, but it was like this thing about like it shows like the bell curve. And on one side, you have the guy who's like, I have all these charts and I got this great score.
Mhm.
And the guy on the other side's like, I just pick a number. It's like they both get great scores. And that's how it is sometimes. Sometimes, rookie players come in and they just do great out of the gate. And it's almost a
Mhm.
curse in the NWL, like when you do really well early on, because then if you don't sustain that really good score, you get some players really beat themselves up. Same thing when they go from the NWL to one of the bigger leagues or they start playing on the leagues and like, wow, it's really hard. I'm like, yeah, because you're playing against
Mhm.
veterans who know what they're doing. So there's that old thing about like, well, go to a dead league. And it's almost a double-sided, like a two-sided sword here. Because on the one hand, you go, well, yeah, it's a dead league. There's more opportunity to get a regional belt. But the guys you're playing against in there usually are playing there because they have an armada of wrestlers are using to like
It
nail
means
that
nothing
score.
though.
Huh?
The regional in the tougher league is much more satisfying than the ninth league title that you had in a row in the other. It's
Yeah, I mean it's
the report hits are the only reason to go there.
right. Yeah, and then that's again, I always tell people like it's good to actually. What I tell a lot of rookies when they're playing NWL is if you want to expand, do a tag team or trio in like another league,
Mhm.
just to kind of get the system down because you can try it in the NWL, but and we're working on some processes and some games and contests that'll help teach tag team in 6-man wrestling, multi-man wrestling. It's hard though because it's new players and like we're still getting through like the 41-1, 42-1, whatever type stuff conversation. They're still getting the whole conversation down. So it's a hard thing to do, but we're trying. Um, Eventually we're gonna do that how to win the IWA revision. We said that last year, and we said that this year.
We got to
And
figure out how to win first.
right, yeah.
Then
So
we'll do it.
but congrats to all those specialty winners, you bums. Um, I didn't even place. I was terrible apparently. It's just not a cycle for me. Um, let's see. Let me check, see if any other questions. Oh, let's see here, Darren. Oh, Larry's question befuddled the room, so it's a good thing you got it. I think I know what he's talking about. So
Yeah, I did finish answering that, right?
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
And, and I think what happens is like sometimes you spot a trend and you almost
Yeah.
don't want to say it out loud. Because it's like Johnny B and the IWA have hearing devices, like listen, like Alexa tie-ins. Like,
Mhm.
oh, so you notice the 26s always go to 28 or 30. Well, not anymore.
Yeah. But the thing is there's no always. It's like this happens 70% of the time, and you're like, that's good enough. And that
I
really
think
is.
I think the best
Like,
example is the 41s. Like playing the 41s,
mhm,
it's like in a way, it's like I was watching this documentary about Greg Maddox, and it was fascinating if you saw it or not, but he was talking about how he was facing, I think it was like I can't think of the hitter's name, maybe Barry Bonds or somebody he was facing, a good hitter. And he gave him an easy home run during the season.
mhm,
And the catcher was like, why'd you do that? It's like, we're gonna see him in the playoffs. And sure as shit, he sees him in the playoffs and he screws them because he's expecting the same kind of pitch to get it. So he keeps making it look like that, but he gets him, strikes him out.
mhm,
And in a similar fashion with us, I think if you just kind of play the numbers, like you go with the 41s, it's safer, you're gonna get the points. But to swing for the fence, you got to go 42 sometimes.
mhm.
And you're going to hit that 42 instead of a 44. That's going to kill you from getting a chance of a report hit. That's how tight it is. And it's the thing too, like we always say all the time, like even with hit 501, and I've hit 501 this year more than I ever hit it before, ever. Um, it's still not a guarantee.
No, it's not.
Sometimes, even in your own league, the BRL, we had a cycle where like 8 people or 9 people with 501s. It was crazy. And people like missed titles. They didn't send enough matches in. What
Yeah,
are you gonna do? That's a
it
bummer.
happens.
Yeah. So, uh, anyways, if you're anyone here, if you're watching the show and you're gonna go to AW in Springfield, let me know. We'll say hello and be like, hey, IWA Con. We keep talking about doing that. All right. Well, I just noticed it's like 10 past or 8 past 10. So the
Mhm.
rampage that you went to is on the air right now.
Yep. I can tell you everything that's going to happen if you need to know now.
No. All right. So I think we're pretty good, right? We got covered all the bases.
Yeah,
Pretty
I think so.
straightforward.
I mean, yeah, it's really just look these over, see which one you like. Like I said, I would recommend make one of the decisions here. Get down to 4 backs. You don't want to use more backs than that.
Mhm.
And try to at least use 2 of these with the mixture of those, and you have a pretty good chance.
All
So
right.
yeah,
All right. Well, there you have it, folks.
we're gonna have plenty of 501s. Okay, we will.
I'll take one of those. I could use one of those.
Yeah, you got
All right.
it.
Thanks. All right. Well, thanks again. I will see you again in 3 weeks and we'll try all over. So good luck, everybody, unless you're in my leagues. Then you get
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Thanks, man.
All right, see you.